What's up guys, Saulius, I'm back again. So today we're going to react the video about was and worst possible shows you can make in Walking Dead. Made by a very nuts we lost of about Danny. We have two things: spare him or kill him. So let's react the video. So this will be 26 minutes. This will be pain my ass. So let's continue. We know, man, but still sucks. Because long minute sucks. We know, man. I don't care.
The cannibal brother who kidnapped and tortured our group. In episode 2, Starved for Help, Lee and his group are running low on food and supplies, so they decide to accept an invitation from a seemingly friendly family who owns a dairy farm. However, they soon discover that the St. Johns are actually cannibals who lure survivors into their farm and butcher them for meat. They also find out that the St. Johns have captured Mark, one of their group members, and cut off his legs for dinner. Lee and his group manage to escape from the dining room and confront the St. Johns in the barn. This is where the choice comes in. Lee finds Danny's
Mark, he died. He was transfected zombies. We know, man.
St. John holding a gun to Clementine's head, threatening to kill her if Lee doesn't drop his weapon. Lee manages to knock Danny down and free Clementine, but Danny is still alive and trapped in a bear trap. Lee can either kill him with a pitchfork or spare him and walk away. So what are the consequences of this choice? Well, not much, actually. This choice doesn't affect the story or the characters in any significant way. No matter what you choose, the outcome is pretty much the same. Danny will either die from the pitchfork wound or from the walkers that overrun the farm. Either way, he won't appear again in the game. The only difference is how Clementine and Lily will react to your choice. If you kill Danny, Clementine will be horrified and scared by your action. She will ask you why you did it and say that it was wrong. She will also lose some trust in you and be more distant from you for a while. Lily, on the other hand, will approve of your choice and say that you did what you had to do. She will also be more loyal to you and support you in future decisions. If you spare Danny, Clementine will be relieved and grateful that you didn't kill him. She will say that you are a good person and hug you. She will also trust you more and be closer to you for a while. Lily, however, will disapprove of your choice and say that you are a hypocrite. She will also be more hostile to you and question your leadership in future situations. So, which choice is the worst one? Well, in my opinion, the worst choice is to kill Danny, and here's why. First of all, killing Danny is unnecessary and cruel. He is already defeated and helpless, trapped in a bear trap with no chance of escape. He poses no threat to you or your group anymore. Killing him is just a waste of time and energy, and it also shows that you are no better than him. You are lowering yourself to his level of savagery and violence. You are becoming what you hate. Also, on top of that, killing Danny is bad for your relationship with Clementine. Clementine is the most important character in the game, and your main goal is to protect her and teach her how to survive. Killing Danny in front of her will traumatize her and make her lose faith in you. She will see you as a monster and a killer, not as a friend and a guardian. She will also learn from your example and become more hardened and ruthless in the future. You don't want that for her. You want her to keep her innocence and humanity as much as possible. Now, final choice of the episode. Whether to loot the car or not in episode 2, Starved for Help. I near the end of the episode, Lee and his group come across an abandoned car full of supplies, such as food, water, batteries, and medicine. The car's alarm is going off, attracting walkers, and there is no sign of the owners. The group is divided on whether to take the supplies or leave them alone. What do? Well, I'm here to tell you that there is only one correct answer, and that is to refuse to loot the car. Yes, you heard me right. Looting the car is the worst possible choice you can make in the game. The thing is, looting the car is risky. You're attracting more walkers with the noise, and you're wasting time that you could use to get back to the motel safely. You're also making yourself a target for other survivors who might see you as a threat or a resource. You're putting yourself and your group in danger for some short-term gain. Third, looting the car is pointless. It doesn't really change anything in the long run. You might get some extra food and supplies, but they won't last forever. You'll still have to deal with the same problems, such as hunger, thirst, sickness, and conflict. You'll still have to face the same enemies, such as the St. John's, the Bandits, and the Stranger. You'll still have to make the same hard choices, such as who to save, who to trust, and who to kill. And speaking of the Stranger, looting the car is the main reason why he kidnaps Clementine in episode 5, No Time Left. He's the owner of the car, and he's been following you ever since you took his stuff. He blames you for the death of his family, who were killed by walkers after they ran out of supplies. He thinks you're a bad person and a bad influence on Clementine. He wants to take her away from you and make you pay for what you did. If you don't loot the car, he won't have a reason to hate you. He'll still kidnap Clementine because he's crazy and lonely, but he'll be more sympathetic and understanding. He'll admit that you're a good person and a good protector for Clementine. He'll even apologize for what he did and give you a chance to explain yourself. He'll still try to kill you because he's delusional and obsessed, but he'll be less angry and more remorseful. Now, whether to shoot the trap woman or leave her to the walkers. This happens when Lee and the group go to the dairy farm to look for food and supplies. On the way, they encounter a woman who is caught in a bear trap and screaming for help. However, there are also a lot of walkers nearby, attracted by her noise. Lee has to decide whether to shoot her and put her out of her misery, or leave her as bait for the walkers and save the bullets. See, shooting the trap woman is a waste of ammo. Ammo is scarce and valuable in the zombie apocalypse, and you never know when you might need it. By shooting the trap woman, you're wasting a bullet that could be used to protect yourself or your friends later. Plus, shooting her doesn't really help her that much. She's already bitten and infected, so she's going to turn into a walker anyway. Shooting her just speeds up the process. Second, shooting the trap woman is a risk to your safety. By shooting her, you're making more noise and attracting more walkers to your location. This could endanger you and your group, especially if you don't have a car or a safe place to hide. You might end up in a worse situation than before, surrounded by walkers and low on ammo. Not to mention, you might also anger the St. John brothers, who own the dairy farm and the trap. They might not appreciate you killing their prey and messing with their trap. Also, don't you think shooting the trap woman is a moral dilemma? By shooting her, you're taking away her choice and her dignity. You're deciding for her what's best for her, without knowing her situation or her wishes. Maybe she wants to live, maybe she has a family, maybe she has a reason to fight. By shooting her, you're denying her the chance to survive or to say goodbye to her loved ones. You're also killing a human being, which is not an easy thing to do, even in the zombie apocalypse. You might feel guilty or regretful later, and it might affect your relationship with the other characters. Next choice, whether to leave Lily behind for her crime, or forgive her and bring her to the group. This choice happens in episode 3, Long Road Ahead, after Lily shoots and kills Carly or Doug, depending on who you saved in episode 1. This choice affects not only the fate of Lily, but also the fate of Ben, Kenny, and Clementine. First, let's see what happens if you decide to leave Lily behind. If you do this, you will anger Kenny, who will blame you for abandoning a member of the group. He will also accuse you of being a coward and a traitor, and he will lose trust and respect for you. Kenny will also be more hostile and aggressive towards you for the rest of the season, and he will be less likely to help you or agree with you on anything. On the other hand, if you decide to bring Lily with you, you will anger Ben, who will blame you for letting a murderer stay in the group. He will also accuse you of being a hypocrite and a fool, and he will lose faith and confidence in you. Ben will also be more scared and nervous around you for the rest of the season, and he will be more likely to betray you or make mistakes that put the group in danger. But that's not all. Your choice also affects the fate of Clementine, who is watching your every move and learning from your actions. If you leave Lily behind, Clementine will be shocked and scared by your decision. She will also be more distrustful and wary of you, and she will question your morality and judgment. Clementine will also be more influenced by Kenny, who will teach her to be more ruthless and pragmatic. On the other hand, if you bring Lily with you, Clementine will be confused and disappointed by your decision. She will also be more sympathetic and compassionate towards you, and she will admire your forgiveness and mercy. Clementine will also be more influenced by Ben, who will teach her to be more honest and brave. So, which is the worst possible choice you can make? In my opinion, the worst choice is to bring Lily with you. Why? Because not only do you keep a dangerous and unstable person in the group, but you also risk losing the trust and loyalty of your closest allies, Kenny and Ben. You also risk compromising the safety and well-being of the group, as Lily may try to harm or sabotage you or someone else in the future. And most importantly, You risk damaging the relationship and character development of Clementine, who is the most important person in the game. By bringing Lily with you, you teach Clementine that murder is acceptable and forgivable, and that justice and accountability are irrelevant and unnecessary. You also teach Clementine that loyalty and friendship are meaningless and disposable, and that survival and self-interest are paramount and supreme. You basically turn Clementine into a cold and cynical person who will have a harder time trusting and caring for anyone in the future. Now, I'm going to discuss one of the most heartbreaking and controversial choices in the game, whether to kill Duck before he turns or wait until he turns. Duck is the son of Kenny and Katja, two of the main characters and allies of Lee, the protagonist. In episode 3, Duck gets bitten by a walker during a raid on a train station. His parents decide to take him to a secluded spot and say their goodbyes, while Lee and the others continue on the train. Lee has the option to join them or stay on the train. If he joins them, he has to make another choice. Either shoot Duck himself, let Kenny do it, or leave him to turn. So, which is the worst choice you can make in this situation? Well,
Leave her and turn, because I would just want to leave her a turn because I did not want to kill her with Duck. Why? Because we know this Duck, he got affected, because he did not know he got bite her with zombies. He did get affected, but sadly was injured. He can't survive, so he got affected, so you have to kill her Duck. It still sucks why he got affected. It still sucks.
in my opinion, the worst choice is to leave Duck to turn, for moral purposes. First of all, leaving Duck to turn is cruel and inhumane. He is a child who is suffering from a fever and a wound. He deserves a quick and painless death, not a slow and agonizing one. But leaving Duck to turn is cowardly and selfish. It shows that you don't care enough about Kenny and Katja to help them with their burden. It shows that you don't have the courage to do what needs to be done. It shows that you value your own comfort over the well-being of others. You are basically abandoning your friends in their darkest hour and leaving them to deal with the consequences. And leaving Duck to turn is risky and stupid. It could endanger the safety of the group and yourself. What if Duck turns while you are still on the train? What if he escapes from his parents and attacks you or someone else? What if he attracts more walkers to your location? What if he causes a noise that alerts the bandits who are chasing you? You are creating.
Oh yeah, I forgot. So you have to stop the train. If you don't stop the train, because I know this one, what happens if you don't stop the train? If you don't stop the train, I would say, Duck immediately turns to zombies because you will die at least. So that means I can't do that. So you have to stop the train and you have to kill Duck, or you have to left her was never her again, and because it was affected. It still sucks, man. I did not know, man.
A potential threat that could jeopardize your survival. So, as you can see, leaving Duck to turn is the worst possible choice you can make in The Walking Dead Season 1. It is not only immoral, but also impractical. It is a choice that I would never make, and I hope you wouldn't either.
We know, man, but sucks, man. We almost there to finish this one, but sucks, man. We didn't have much time. And also, I forgot. Do you remember, please, episode we watched the video about, name was Katja? Yeah, that one. Katja did not die with bite her with zombies. No, he almost died because you have to help her Katja. He did survive, and yeah, I did not know them. And Katja will be killed himself with taking place episode 3. We know he died this one. It still sucks. So we know, man. So yeah, that's why believes what happened here about Kenny, Katja, and Doc Doitle. He died this one and didn't survive. And also Kenny also do repeat episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. And I was not expecting this one. And yeah, they had fun facts. And also I missed this one in the seasons 3 also. Others I missed was there was also supposed to be a was immediately walker into a water was supposed to kill himself, but the final was cut. Why? Because he did not want to see about darkness, about story what happened. But nope, he removed it was never made in the game. It still sucks. So he built season 1, season 2, and season 3 repealed, and that's it. So that's why. So I will say goodbye, Saulius, and see you tomorrow, okay? Bye.